I was 18 when my father opened the front door and said, "Pack your things. You're not worth the trouble." It was 28 degrees outside. My sister stood behind him, crying on cue. I slept in my car for 3 nights. For 12 years, he told everyone I chose the streets. Last month, he found me online, and he asked if we could reconnect. So I sent him a reply with dates, receipts, and one screenshot his favorite daughter prayed would never surface. If you've ever been blamed for something you didn't do, or watched someone rewrite your story like you were disposable, this one's going to hit deep. Subscribe for more powerful revenge stories where the truth doesn't just defend itself, it wins. My name is Lila Morgan. I'm 30 years old, and I was erased at 18. My sister, Ava, was 20 when it happened. Golden child, soft voice, perfect GPA, master manipulator wrapped in lip gloss. I was the difficult one, independent, opinionated, not afraid to question my dad when he got loud. That night in November, I came home from my part-time shift at the diner. My shoes smelled like fryer oil. My hands were cracked from washing dishes. The house was too quiet. Dad was sitting at the kitchen table. Ava was crying. "She stole from me," Ava whispered. I froze. "What?" "My bracelet. The one Grandma gave me. It's gone. I saw it in your drawer." My stomach dropped so hard it felt physical. "That's not true." Dad stood up so fast his chair hit the tile. "Don't lie to me." He didn't ask questions. He didn't search properly. He didn't hesitate. Ava kept her face buried in her hands, shoulders shaking. Performance of the year. "You've always been jealous," she added softly. Jealous. Of what? The way Dad already favored her? I remember the heat rising to my face, the way my hands shook. "Search my room," I said. He did. He found it in my jewelry box, placed perfectly on top. Not hidden, displayed. Even then, some part of me understood. She planted it, but my father didn't want the truth. He wanted a villain, and I was convenient. He opened the front door. "You want to act grown? Be grown. Get out." I thought it was a scare tactic. It wasn't. Ava stood at the top of the stairs while I stuffed clothes into a trash bag. By the time I carried the last box out, she was already inside my room. My room, pulling down my posters, claiming space I hadn't even vacated fully. I slept in my car that night in the grocery store parking lot. The cold crept in through the windows. My breath fogged the glass. I told myself it was temporary. They'd call. They'd realize. They didn't. 3 nights. No texts. No missed calls. Nothing. Months passed. I couch surfed. Worked double shifts. Applied for financial aid on my own. I heard through distant relatives what my father was saying. She couldn't follow rules. She chose a reckless life. She left. He told everyone I stormed out dramatically, that he tried to help. He painted himself as the exhausted parent. Ava stayed silent, because silence protected her. The lowest point wasn't the cold. It wasn't the hunger. It was my 19th birthday. I sat alone in my car with a gas station cupcake. 1 candle. No calls. That's when something changed. I stopped hoping for rescue and started planning survival. I enrolled in community college, nursing program. I studied in 24-hour diners because I didn't have stable housing at first. I worked night shifts as a CNA. I learned how to function on 4 hours of sleep, how to compartmentalize pain, how to build a life without waiting for apology. Eventually, scholarships came, then clinical placements, then acceptance into a nurse practitioner program. I chose to work with homeless veterans, men and women who had also been discarded. I understood that look in their eyes, the one that says, "I was once someone." I built a small free clinic with grant funding and donations. Local news did a feature, from homeless teen to nurse practitioner serving veterans. I didn't tag my family. I didn't need to. The internet did its thing. 12 years later, I received a message on Facebook from my father, "Lila, I saw the article. I'm proud of you. Maybe it's time we talk." Proud. I stared at the screen for a long time. My hands didn't shake anymore. I wasn't 18 in a parking lot. I was 30, stable, grounded, and suddenly I didn't feel small. I felt prepared. He expected warmth, closure, a reunion photo he could show his friends. Instead, I sent him a document. 7 pages, every date from the night he kicked me out, where I slept, how many shifts I worked each week, the scholarship acceptance letters, the graduation photo he never attended, my 19th birthday gas station cupcake, and then the screenshot. 3 weeks after I was kicked out, Ava had texted a friend. I didn't have it then, but people grow up. Friendships end. Secrets leak. The message read, "Dad, totally believe me, LOL. She's gone. Room's finally mine." Time-stamped. Dated. Clear as day. The bracelet had been found 2 months later in Ava's own drawer when she moved out. Dad never told anyone. He quietly replaced it. Protected her. But I had the screenshot now, and I attached it. He called within minutes. I let it ring, then texted back, "You rewrote my life because it was easier than admitting you were wrong." Silence for hours. Then one message. I didn't know. That sentence hit differently now, because he did know. He just didn't want to confront it. A week later, he showed up at the clinic. Smaller than I remembered. Hair thinner. Shoulders hunched. He looked around at the waiting veterans. The charts. The staff greeting me with respect. "You built this?" he asked. "Yes." "Without you." He held printed pages of my email. His hands trembled. "I thought you'd come back." I looked at him evenly. I waited. That's when he broke. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just quiet collapse. Tears in his eyes. Because for the first time he wasn't the narrator. He was the man who failed. I didn't scream. I didn't humiliate him publicly. I simply said, "You don't get to be proud of the version of me you tried to erase." That sentence landed heavier than anything else. He tried to apologize. I stopped him. "You can regret it, but you can't undo it." I didn't let him volunteer at the clinic. I didn't give him redemption photos. I gave him truth and boundaries. Extended family learned the real story. The screenshot circulated. Ava tried to minimize it. It was a joke. It wasn't. Her credibility evaporated. Dad stopped defending her publicly. The golden child lost her shine. Not because I attacked, but because truth finally had proof. The most satisfying moment wasn't his tears. It was the shift. For 12 years, he told people I chose the streets. Now, when someone brings it up, he corrects them. She didn't leave. I pushed her. That's the part that matters. He says it out loud. He owns it, and I never had to raise my voice. Sometimes revenge isn't about destruction. It's about documentation. It's about surviving long enough to let the truth mature, and then delivering it calmly. When someone rewrites your story, you don't scream. You publish the original. If this story hit you in the chest, hit like and tell me in the comments. Would you have responded to that message? And subscribe for more powerful revenge stories where silence breaks, receipts surface, and justice doesn't need to shout to win.